What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Yamcast. Spite, what number is this?
18.
Number 18 today. I'm pretty sure I put 17 on the live stream, but that's okay because I'm such a professional. Today we're going to be looking at a wonderful bit of news. What's our news today?
A Tuono 660, actually.
Hey, that's pretty good. I like that. We'll also be talking about GP because it's my podcast and I do what I want. And then we're going to be taking on a bit of call-in section from our Discord boys, and then we're going to wrap it up with our contest for the week. Let's get into it.
All right, so before we get into the Tuono 660, I actually found this on MCN about this electric motorcycle technology that allows you to emulate a different motorcycle engine, sound, feel, vibration, all of that stuff that they've cooked into this electric motorcycle. It's really kind of cool.
Really?
Yes. So it's basically...
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. So basically what it is it's a computer that is accompanied with one of these electric motorcycles and creates the sound and feel and power band of whatever motorcycle profile you want.
Wow.
It's really kind of cool. So I'll play the video here.
Did you share this with
Yes,
the boys
I did.
on our Discord?
Yeah, it's the first link in the Discord, boys. So basically, you can upload all of this stuff, and it's got a clutch now. It's an electric bike with a clutch. So clearly it's not 100%. It sounds a little phony.
Yeah, it's a little phony, but what a weird idea to come up with. I mean,
Yeah.
That's crazy. I would have never thought to do this, but I guess it makes sense. It feels a little video gamey, you know? It doesn't feel quite real, but...
I think in a world where electric motorcycles are kind of banal, there's nothing that you do while you're riding them.
Yeah.
This is a cool way to make your bike feel unique. Like,
Yeah.
for example, you get yourself the Energica Ego, and it's just a beastly motorcycle, right? It's putting down a crazy amount of horsepower.
Yeah.
But maybe you want something that's a little bit more tame, like you want it to feel like a VFR.
Yeah.
You can upload the profile, and the bike will now sound and rumble and have all of the characteristics of that V4,
Yeah.
whereas before it had nothing.
I think for me, it's kind of like... I like it when things don't try to be anything else.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to make an electric bike... be unapologetic about it, you know. Don't try to be a facsimile of something else, because then I feel like it fails on both fronts, you know. And it's just one of those things where, like, I feel like if I wanted, like, I see it says smoke-free two-stroke on the screen right there. If I wanted a two-stroke, I'd go and get a two-stroke, you know.
Right.
And it's like, if I wanted an electric bike, I'd get an electric bike. But you know, maybe if they get the system good enough and it's flexible enough and it can be interesting enough to ride, that you can kind of sit atop of it and you're like, I want to ride an inline-4 today. I want to ride a V-twin today. And it can feel different no matter what you do. That's pretty cool. The question is, like, how much would that even cost, you know,
I would imagine
it would have to be a biblical sum of money for a bike that could do all this.
Yeah, I feel like it's you pair it with a very bespoke motorcycle, and you have it, which I would imagine has to be a naked bike, not necessarily a sport bike. Like, if you want to make it feel like a V-twin, there's no way you can have, you know, a cruiser style vibe on a bike that looks like this.
Yeah, and you can't, I think the way a bike feels from like side to side and the chassis and all that, you know, an inline four versus a twin versus a 3-cyl versus a single cyl, literally the way those cylinders are configured make the bike feel different.
Right.
You know, and so how could it, I don't think it could replicate that, right? All it could do is just replicate torque, power, and sound feelings, right?
So the idea here is that actually it will mimic the feeling of like they'll have an inner gyroscope that basically changes the way the motorcycle vibrates.
Wow.
So that it does actually feel
so
like
it's basically just like
a
a big ass simulator at that point. You know? Almost.
It's a simulator you can ride in the real world.
Yeah.
So basically it allows you to, you know, experience motorcycles that you'd never be able to, at least a facsimile of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool piece of technology as we march ever onward towards electric motorcycles being the standard.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool that someone tried to make it, decided to make it. I'm all for progress and trying new stuff. But that clip did sound quite phony, I'm not going to lie.
It really did. Yeah.
But that's okay. You know, they're figuring out, they're doing the new stuff, and that's fine. Like, I don't expect it to be perfect.
I have a feeling that this is the way I envision it, right? You have your motorcycle that has this as an upgrade package, and it's almost like a subscription, or like you buy the feeling of the motorcycle you want to ride. So for example, you have your base shell motorcycle and you're like, okay, I want to download the V4R pack. And you go in, you click on it, and it's like 15, 20, 30, 50 bucks, whatever. You download it and you upload it to your bike, and you just turn on the V4R profile, and it changes the power band to mimic the V4R.
Yeah.
That's really neat to me.
Yeah, it's, you should have download yourself some 6th GAR energy, right?
Yeah, no kidding. And if any bike is going to be capable of mimicking power bands, I feel like it would be an electric bike.
Yeah, they're most well suited to do that for sure. I mean, they have the ability to, you know, change their maps and change all that kind of stuff, and really change the way the torque comes on and all that kind of stuff in a way that an internal combustion engine just couldn't. But the purist in me thinks this is sacrilege at the same time, you know?
Yeah, there's again, it feel that sound was wrong.
Yeah, someone on chat said put it in Turbo Busa mode every day. That's what I would do. Yeah.
That they would definitely have to download the Turbo Busa Yammie Noob pack.
Co-branded Yammie Noob Turbo Busa pack. Yeah. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, we'll see how it kind of shakes out and if it's got any legs of this idea, because I think the big change for it too, as an electric motorcycle, it's got a clutch, you know, and a shifter. I mean, that's huge, right? I've often said that electric bikes needed a little bit of something to engage as a rider a little bit more than just a twist throttle. You know, you need a little bit more. But yeah, really neat.
It seems like a fun piece of tech, and I just wanted to talk about it because it caused me to geek out a little bit.
Yeah.
But moving on to something else, we have the Aprilia Tuono 660 is heading to showrooms.
Now, this bike I'm super stoked on. I'm super, super, super stoked on the Aprilia 660 platform.
Yes.
I saw the RS 660 last year in EICMA, and I'm desperate for this to really make a release for both the Tuono package and the RS 660 package. Because this to me is like MT-07 killer.
Yes.
100% MT-07 killer, you know?
Mm-hmm. If they could price it correctly so that it's... Obviously, it's got an upcharge because it's Italian. But if they could really position it correctly in the marketplace, this could be, you know, your new standard go-to 650.
Yeah.
And we really need something to shake up the Japanese 650 market.
Yeah, because they're kind of just cleaning up shop over there.
And honestly, I find the 650s... This is a point that I made in that list that everybody got mad at me over, was I find that the 650 is just the basic next step bike. And as a result, they don't take any risks. The only one that is really unique that I've felt riding on being like, okay, this is cool, is the MT-07 XSR 700.
You didn't feel that on the SV?
Engine. The SV just, it feels, the V-twin is nice, but I'd rather ride a Monster.
Yeah.
You know,
Monster was nice, wasn't it?
The Monster was very nice.
Yeah.
And I need something that's got a little bit more panache, a little bit, something esoteric.
Yeah. Aprilia will definitely sell you some panache, that is for sure.
Yep. And this is a very cool thing that they're doing. They're basically just making the little bikes and the big bikes.
Yeah.
And what I remember of the 660 was it had that big, it had the big dashboard, the TFT dash, all the rider modes. It made like 115 horsepower, something like that.
I think it made a little over 100, if I remember correctly.
A little over 100.
Which is, that's 25 more than the MT-07, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a way more hopped up engine, way more hopped up parallel twin. It had all the rider modes, traction control, all that stuff. So it's definitely a much more premium bike. So it's not going to cost $7-8 grand. I don't think. It's probably going to cost closer to 10. It's probably going to compete more closely, to be honest, with like your CB650Rs and those sorts of motorcycles. But the Aprilia is going to have adjustable suspension, high quality braking components. I think it's going to be a way nicer bike to ride.
But honestly, the CB650R was one of the nicest 650s out there before.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's of the 650s, it's probably the most interesting because it's an inline 4. You know, they're all parallel twins or V twins.
Yeah.
So that in that sense, it's unique. It does
Yeah.
kind of suck that it has unadjustable suspension and the dashboard's kind of lame.
The big promise for the 660 platform over here from Aprilia, which they sort of delivered on but not really, was the weight. Whenever the RS 660 came out, they were claiming it was going to be 350 pounds wet, 340 pounds wet,
Jesus.
that kind of stuff. They didn't even come close to those figures. It was more close to like 370 dry, and so it's like 400 wet. It's still a very lightweight bike, but it wasn't anywhere near the sort of race replica stuff they were trying to do.
I think the XSR is
415.
415,
Something
410.
like that, yeah.
So that's still pretty rarefied air right there. That's lightweight.
No, it is lightweight, but Aprilia made some big claims last year about what it was going to weigh, and it was not that weight at all.
Come at me when you make a sumo.
Yeah. But I cannot wait for the 660 platform to start rolling out and that we can ride them, because I think they're going to be awesome.
Where would we consider this in terms of like who?
If we did a giveaway?
One? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is it beginner bike? Kind of.
Well,
or,
it makes 100 horsepower, right?
Yeah.
It's not a beginner bike.
Although we did kind of break that mold when we had the.
I just wanted to do a street triple.
The street triple.
I just chucked it in there. That was awesome. But the street triple is not an appropriate beginner bike, and this wouldn't be either, honestly. So I think this to me is like you've graduated from the A2 license thing. You want your full license bike. And you don't want some, 160 horsepower monster. You want something that is lighter weight, nimble, fast enough. 100 horsepower is plenty to have fun with. You can have a lot of fun with 100 horsepower.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all about the feeling for this bike. If it feels put together, if the chassis is there and it flicks in and it's nice to ride, you won't even really notice that it's, 100 horsepower or whatever.
I think that's one of the things people get caught up in, is the idea of getting the big bad motorcycle, because you're never going to be able to use the big bad motorcycle anywhere.
No.
It's just, it makes more sense to stay in the pocket, stay 75 to 100 horsepower.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this the other day. We were riding, you were on the Sumo and I was on the sled, and I was just like, I love having about 75, 80 horsepower for the street. It feels great. I can use literally all of it all the time, and it feels like just fast enough, Whereas when I jump on the R1, I'm like, I can't use this thing at all on the street.
It's just a scooter.
It's a big scooter, yeah.
It's a really big, really fast scooter. But you never need to get out of first gear.
What's so funny is I've said that a couple times, a couple videos, and I think at some point I finally just triggered some R1 guys, because they were just like, stop calling it a scooter! Stop it! But it is. It's got an up and down quick shifter, twist throttle. It's such a big scooter, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is pretty cool pieces of news from Aprilia, and now we're going to move over to the call-in section of our podcast. Alrighty, everyone, this is now the call-in portion of our podcast. If you want the chance to call in and ask us some questions, or just hang out with us, feel free to hit the link down below, go to yammie.co, and you can sign up on our Discord server. Spite, put the number up.
Let's do it.
Hey, Drew, what's going on? You're on the Yamcast.
Hey, how's it going, Spite and Yammie?
Good. You said you were going to call in the Discord, and you sure did. So what can we help you with?
Yeah. Okay. I have a what would Yam and Spite do situation here.
All right.
So, there is this very Dennis the Menace type of child in my townhouse complex in my neighborhood, and he's developed this habit of waiting on his little bicycle for me or one of my friends to drive by, and then jump out in front on his bicycle. And I went to speak to his mom and said, I'm learning how to ride a motorcycle right now, and if I were on my bike, I would not have been able to stop. And now I'm terrified of leaving my garage on my bike because this kid is holy doodle, so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you do
I would let Darwinism take its course, and I would smite this child with my motorcycle. No, I'm just kidding. You can kind of reframe it as like it's good practice, I guess, if you do want to start practicing your brakes. But it's one of those things where if you've already talked to his mom, this is really outside of my wheelhouse of what to help people with. But I guess if you've already talked to his mom and you're trying to get the kid to stop doing that, at some point he's just going to do what he's going to do. So you just have to be mindful that he might be out and about while you're out there practicing on your bike. That would be my take. Spike, what do you think?
I got home from groceries. I'm gonna post this photo, but he left his bike on my driveway, and I posted this photo of myself yesterday. And I couldn't ride this bike around my living room, and then it occurred to me that I had stolen the child's bike, and I started to feel kind of bad. So
yeah, you should feel kind of bad about that. You stole some kid's bike. That's a bit weird.
Well, he left it on my driveway, and this kid, let me tell you, this kid really grinds my gears. Also, I don't think I could, run right into this kid because I feel like I would probably topple over and get injured and probably severely injure this tiny child.
You will very much injure a child by running a motorcycle into them, without a doubt.
I mean,
yeah.
It's that 500 Rebel that I...
Well...
yeah. My suggestion would be to go to Home Depot and buy an air horn.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because if you're wearing a helmet and you have earplugs in, it's not going to bother you at all. And then all you do is you zip tie it to your handlebars, and whenever this kid jumps out, you hit the air horn and you just lay on it for a second.
Yeah, that'll spook him.
I got an Uga horn, and today it came in the mail. I'm going to post a photo later, but I got a bugle horn. Mm-hmm. Because I think it's adorable. And I also bought a boat horn, but it's 150 decibels, which is louder than a 747 Boeing at max thrust, and it will cause hearing damage. Oh,
Jesus.
You're going to have a really hard time getting that amount of power out of the bike. You're probably going to blow fuses.
Yeah.
The Denali sound bomb actually requires a motorcycle to be on for it to work, whereas most bass horns, you can just push the button and it'll go. So if you want to be really noisy, I really do suggest the air horn.
If you want to go the next step, you could also just set up an EMP blast in your neighborhood. That'll teach them.
Another neighbor was telling me that he threw this kid's scooter over the fence one time because this kid is just an annoyance.
Yeah.
So if I'm heading towards the kid and he's starting to go out and I can't stop, would you try and do a push turn thing? Would you try and do an emergency braking sort of thing?
Well, I feel like if you're just in your neighborhood, you're probably not going much faster than 10 or 15 miles per hour. I feel like you can come to a stop really fast.
Yep.
It shouldn't be too difficult to literally just apply really consistent even brake pressure on the front and slow that bike down almost instantly, honestly.
Yeah.
I know it's a little jarring as a new rider to have to think about doing that, but just make sure that you don't stamp on the rear or the front brakes super hard, and don't stamp on the rear brakes super hard either, because you might catch a couple cool skiddies while you do it. But that would be my advice. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, I'll let you guys know what happens.
All right, I'm curious to hear it. Thanks so much for calling. I appreciate it.
Okay. Have a good one.
All right, later.
Bye.
One of the strangest questions we've gotten. I really didn't even know how to handle it. I don't deal with children ever in my life.
No, me neither.
I was I have no idea what to do. Hey there, you're on the Yamcast. How's it going? How's it going? Did you say your name was Andrew?
Yeah.
Hey, what can we do for you?
I just had a quick, hopefully fun question for you guys. I was wondering if you guys could have any motor in any motorcycle chassis, what kind of combination would you make?
Well, I don't know if you just heard, but someone's practicing wheelies out in front of our shop, which is kind of fitting. But any motor in any this is a good question.
Yes.
I need a moment to think. I'm trying to think of best chassis and then best engine.
The engine that I've had the most fun with in my motorcycling career was the 919 engine, the Honda 919. I loved that power plant. Mm-hmm. It was so much fun. It made 100 horsepower, good torque. It was really fun to rev out. And then I just like it in a chassis that's more modern and can turn. So, I mean, street triple would be awesome. That's a really good chassis.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I like also the naked feel. So basically just, I guess I'm asking for an updated 919.
Yeah. I think
Absolutely.
for me, I would take the CBX's engine, that legendary 6-cylinder motor, and I would separate it from its horrible, heavy, 70s frame that it came with, and I'd take that gem of an engine, and I'd probably put it in, honestly, something like the Street Triple. It wouldn't fit, but this is just magical, La La Land stuff we're thinking about here. Because I love the way that engine sounds. Just off sound alone, it's a great engine. But it needs to be in a chassis or frame that's a little bit easier going than that big tubular frame that the original one came with. That would be my choice, I think.
That CBX engine is probably as wide as that bookcase right there.
It is, yeah. No, it's a monster of an engine. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, so that's a great question. I'm trying to think of anything else. I really, really, really like the KTM RC8R's chassis. That is an incredible motorcycle. It flicks in like nothing else I've really ever ridden, but it's already paired to a pretty awesome engine, so I wouldn't want to, disassemble it or anything, but yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Anything else we can do for you?
Oh, no, that was it.
All right, man. Well, great question. I appreciate it. We'll catch you on the Discord.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, later, man.
Bye. That was a really cool question.
That was a cool question. I'd literally never thought about that before. I had to take a second. Yeah.
I really miss my 919.
Yeah.
I really do. Such a good bike. Honda, make another one.
Hey there, this is the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, going pretty good, dude. How's it going for you guys?
Good. Did you say your name was Ian?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. What can we do for you?
All right. Just like the last guy, I've got like a fictional question for you guys.
Cool.
So, do you guys have any like guilty pleasure bikes? A bike you know you shouldn't like, or like you don't like that type of bike, but you like the bike anyway?
Oh yeah, I've got a guilty pleasure bike.
You go first, then. I got to think about it.
I think the TW200's fucking awesome.
That's great.
I know it's weird and dorky, but man, I think it's so cool. I love that it has this big fat farm tire on it. I just talked about it in a video today. I think it's so neat. I think it's underrated as hell, honestly. Like, it's a super cool bike. Yeah. That's a guilty pleasure for me.
They just get overshadowed because people think they're a tractor, basically.
Yeah, but they're really fucking cool. At least I think they are. Yeah.
They're definitely dorky and nerdy, but they're one of those just slow, silly things that you can do anything you want with it.
They're just lovable. Yeah.
Guilty pleasure for me. God, I like a lot of different motorcycles, and I don't think there's one that I shouldn't like. But I think the one
it could just be one that is not your typical style.
That one that's not my typical style. Okay. The Fury. The Honda Fury.
You like that bike?
I am dying to ride a Honda Fury. Those things are so ridiculous.
They really are.
It's the only factory chopper, and
It's so
Honda
weird.
of all companies makes it.
It is a very weird bike. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've never ridden a chopper like that. I'd love to ride the Honda Fury.
Yeah. It's a good choice.
I think those are cool bikes. I've never even ridden a cruiser.
Oh wow, you definitely should. They're definitely a very unique experience. I'm getting baptized by fire at the cruisers over here, but
Quite
yeah.
literally.
Yeah, my entire guilty pleasure lineup is just any muscle bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big
V-Rod,
big
man.
V-Rod, V-Max. Yeah, those are all good.
Oh yeah.
Rocket 3, talk about guilty pleasures. Rocket 3, I had so much fun riding that bike. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm forced to like anything Harley Davidson because I own a Buell, so that automatically makes me a Harley simp.
Yes, yes, it does. But Harley Bros don't accept you, so you live in this weird corner by yourself, and we all laugh at you.
Yes.
But we do love you still. It's okay.
Yes. No one loves me except Daddy Eric Buell.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the question. That was a good one. We will catch you on the Discord.
All right, guys. You guys have a good one.
All right, later. We've got some good questions tonight.
Yeah.
This is good.
I really want to ride a Fury now that I think about it.
Maybe we can get one compared against the Sportster.
I don't know if there's
because the Fury's a real bike.
Well, the Fury's like a 1200, I think. It's not that big.
It's not?
No.
I thought it was a 1600.
I don't think so.
Okay. How's it going, Mobius? You're on the Yamcast.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just answering some questions, doing some things. What can we do for you?
So, I have a short story as an interesting follow-up to a question I asked a couple of weeks ago about dream bike versus getting as many experiences in as you can.
Yes.
In fact, it's actually kind of funny that we're talking about the 210 earlier, because the reason I asked that question a couple of weeks ago is that 2014 Aprilia Shiver 750 came up for sale for like a steal of a price with super low miles. And I was debating whether I wanted to do that or continue to save up for the dream bike. And I think maybe about a week ago, I was getting ready to call the dude, and the listing had expired. So,
oh, bummer.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer. But I started scouring a little bit just afterwards, stayed a little bit after work, and I found a bike. I called the guy here a couple of days ago. Everything's set up. So I told some people in the Discord that I wouldn't say anything until the Yamcast. So I'm going to go ahead and post the listing here over on the channel. And then I guess my question is, did you guys have any like feelings that you weren't expecting, like anxiety or hesitation when you went to go buy your second bike?
So my second bike was a brand spanking new Daytona 675R because I was very irresponsible with both my finances and my personal life choices. So I would say the only anxiety I felt with it was how much quicker it was going to be than my current bike. I was a little bit anxious about it, but that was really the only thing. So is that the sort of anxiety you're talking about, or is this more of like is it going to run and work well anxiety?
No, it's dude's a great mechanic, but it was kind of that, like, the Aprilia felt a little more approachable because, 0 to 60 4 seconds, and it's an L twin, so it felt a little more approachable. But I mean, as you can see from this is just a touch faster, and I was almost uncomfortable about it. I actually saw your review of this whenever you got a chance to ride one.
Yeah.
I think it was like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot more comfortable about it. But I just wanted to get y'all's opinion on, how your experience was.
So one thing I would tell you is don't look too much at like speed and 0 to 60 times and that kind of stuff for a bike, because to be honest, like a 450 dirt bike, which has a much lower top speed and much lower acceleration than some bikes that I've ridden, was one of the most harrowing motorcycling experiences I've ever had, versus something like the R1, which is actually really docile to ride. So sometimes specs don't tell you the full story. Like, I honestly think the Shiver would be way more of a handful than a Street Triple. A Street Triple is a really easygoing bike to ride, really smooth, really comfortable. A Shiver is basically like a hopped up supermoto. It's very aggressive and will wheelie very easily. Spy, what do you think?
Well, to answer your question, I don't really consider my street rod to be my second bike. I kind of consider it to be an evolution of my first. My second bike was a 919, really, the 2007 one. And I wasn't really all that concerned about it until I got it on the highway, and I was like, holy shit, 1,000 cc's is fast. I think, I rode it around. I had it for a year, and it was perfectly safe. You'll get used to a motorcycle very quickly, I think. If you ride it around and spend time with it, as long as you don't drop it going out of the parking lot, you'll be just fine. It's really easy to gel with a motorcycle as long as you're comfortable riding, I think.
That's cool. I'm just makes me even more excited about this thing, because not only am I no longer going to be a shit blast owner, but I get to experience first generation, first year of what really is my dream bike. This is the engine I fell in love with, and hopefully I get a chance to get it riding out in the East Texas, Deep South Texas area. I'd love to go on a group ride with the rest of the Discord.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to love that bike, man. The Street Triple is an awesome ride. It's literally one of my favorite street bikes of all time. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, good deal. Well, I'll let you guys know how it goes on Sunday. It's a 6-hour drive there and back, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have cell reception, so I'll post pics as soon as I have it.
Awesome, man. Definitely post up some pics and we'll check it out. I appreciate you calling.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, later.
You've converted another one.
There we go. Trying for life, baby. They don't win races, but they sure feel good.
Wait, you won a race? There you go. So now they're winning races.
So there you go. Now they're winning. Yeah, thanks to me. Thanks to me. Podium hat owner and race winner Yammie Noob. That's me. Hey there, you are on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, it's good. How about you?
Doing good. What can we do for you?
Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Nice. I wanted to call in about coming noise regulations in Europe and mainly Germany.
Oh, are you our German guy that recently joined up? I think I've seen you on the Discord.
Yeah.
Nice, man. How's it going? It's always nice to meet our international audience.
Yeah. What we have here is that we had a few weeks or months that Sundays the motorcycling was forbidden. So they wanted to ban motorcycling for Sundays because of the noise.
Oh.
And and then I think in Munich 10,000 bikers went on the streets.
Awesome.
So 10,000 people group ride.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
As they should. Yeah, that's an absolutely ridiculous proposal.
They've postponed that, at least for now. But what will probably happen is that in Europe the noise will go down to 80 decibels.
Oof.
For all bikes. Yeah.
Currently, some stock motorcycles don't even pass that, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
80 dBs. Yeah, that's super quiet.
My Ninja 400 has stock 85, I think.
So you're just over that, and that's really quiet.
It's really quiet, yeah.
I think I gotta believe the SMCR is right on that line.
I know.
It's very quiet.
I know the sled's right over it. So.
The older one has 87 or something.
And then the new one's got the gigantic 10 or 15 pound can hanging off.
So you weren't
end.
kidding. The Germans really do know about your bike, huh?
Yes.
Spite was telling me that he was trying to find stuff about his SMCR, and he was like, dude, only Germans know stuff about this bike. And it's so funny that you, as the German guy, you're like, oh yeah, I know the DB rating for that motorcycle. That's great. Man, that is crazy, though, that they tried to say that bikers shouldn't be allowed to ride on Sunday. I mean, most people work Monday through Friday, and to take away a whole day of someone's riding weekend is absolutely ridiculous. And then to say that it has to be even quieter, I mean, how are you going to make some of these stock bikes even quieter? You can't.
Yeah, that's what we're all asking ourselves over here.
Is that a rule that's going to be for the city that you live in, or is this like a German law that's being passed?
That will be probably overall of Germany.
Ooh,
oh,
wow.
jeez.
Yeah, that comes from the frequented regions.
Oh my God.
Wow. That sucks.
You got to vote in some new people, man. That ain't good.
Yeah, we'll see what happens because, of course, industry over here is pretty big, so they have a lot of influence, but when the politics do what they want to do, they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. And also, Germany is one of the biggest European countries with such a huge population, and I'm sure, like you said, a lot of industry folks probably sell a lot of motorcycles in Germany, and so that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, also they... I think if the Green Party comes to power, they said they want to ban the open autobahn, so they want to put a speed limit.
Oh man, but that's like one of the best things you guys have.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is coming.
Yeah.
Man, well, I'm praying for Germany, man. I hope that just sounds like a double whammy if both of those pass. That's a real bummer if that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if it does happen, we'll post up some really loud exhaust clips on the Discord and keep you happy.
Yeah, that's really kind.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you calling.
Have a nice evening.
All right, later, dude.
Bye.
God, that was so funny that he knew exactly what the DB rating for the SMCR was. Of course, the German
told
guy
you,
knew.
man.
It's so funny.
I was actually kind of shocked. Mike, I suppose I probably shouldn't be. All of the big reviews and content creators are from Britain or Germany, and that's it.
Makes sense. Hey, Mike, you are on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Finally, it's like the 6th time I tried calling in.
Sorry about that. We were on the horn with the German guy who was telling us how things are all falling apart over there. What's going on?
Nothing much. I'm just chilling in my truck right now. But I've got a question. Going from a cable actuated throttle to ride-by-wire, what kind of differences will I expect on throttle response?
Ooh. Okay, so as I'm sure as you've seen on the videos I put out, I very much enjoy a cable actuated throttle. I think it's the correct way to get the motion from your hand to the throttle opening on a motorcycle. It feels amazing. Ride-by-wire, if done correctly, you don't really notice a big difference. But where you do notice a big difference when it's done not so great is in the low revs. Whenever you open and close the throttle really quickly, in the low revs, it doesn't quite do what you expect it to do. And then in the mid-range, when you actually open it to give it power, it may or may not open in the way that you expect because the computer is trying to figure out what you're trying to do. So a cable actuated throttle feels really direct and you always know exactly what it's going to do. Whereas a wire-by-wire is always, it's always like there's a bit of a film between you and the motorcycle, a bit of a, maybe you're looking at it through a glass pane or something. Spite, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, I just recently went from cable to ride-by-wire, and one of the biggest things I noticed is if I jammed on the throttle on my VFR in about the middle of the RPM band, say I'm going like 80 miles an hour, hovering at like 4,000 to 5,000 RPM, and I hit the throttle, the thing just shakes and lurches to life, and then it evens itself out as it just suddenly has a ton of air and fuel going in. The SMCR just doesn't do that. It just is like, okay, we're going to slowly work our way up to full throttle. I don't really like. However, I do like the feeling of the ride-by-wire. It's so smooth. With like the actuation is so smooth. Something about it. It's a give and take.
Yeah.
I think I'm for it because it allows you to have programmable ride modes.
Yeah.
But part of me still really loves that raw analog feel.
Yeah, I mean, a ride-by-wire system allows you to have a much more technologically advanced motorcycle, but I agree. I just love the raw feel of a cable. It just feels so good. But it can also feel like ass if it's not done correctly.
Yes.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what you could expect. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got another question.
Okay.
I found a 2013 MV Agusta S3. Yeah, I'm your MV Agusta guy right here.
Okay.
I have Ninja 300. So, what kind of differences would I expect from going from the Ninja 300 to the 675 MV Agusta?
Yeah, for the first week of you owning that motorcycle, you're going to feel like it's a goddamn rocket ship.
Yep.
You're going to feel like it's the fastest. You're going to ask yourself why they even allowed them to be legal. I remember that was my feeling when I jumped on a truly fast motorcycle. I think you'll definitely feel the weight difference too. A Ninja 300 is a really light, playful bike. Middleweight motorcycles tend to be heavier and bigger, and I think you'll notice the mass of it at first. And you may not really like it at first. I remember when I went from my R3 to my Daytona, I remember being on the Daytona, I was like, man, this thing's kind of heavy and bigger and just more serious, you know? It was a different feeling. Yeah. Spy, what do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be biblically fast.
Yeah.
You're going to crack the throttle open a little bit gingerly at first, and then everybody does it where they search for the power, and then you're going to feel it, and you're going to be hanging on for dear life, white knuckling.
Yeah.
It's how I was when I first rode the Hayabusa.
Yeah.
And
I remember that. Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah, and that's going to be you for a little while, and then you're going to get used to it, and it's just going to be old hat. It's really weird how that happens.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to own like an R1 or an MT10 because I know it's gonna be old hat. I'm gonna have 200 horsepower right here.
It just kind of ruins you.
Yep.
Yeah. But the lust for power never goes away.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what you can look forward to.
Cool. Okay, so do you know of any modification from going from a ride-by-wire to a cable-actuated throttle?
Ugh. I've never heard of one or seen one, unless it's like a full, like, engine swap type of thing. I've seen people go from cable to ride-by-wire. I've seen that before. There's a dude that's building his own Daytona 765 Moto 2 bike that he did that conversion on his. But I'd say if your bike has ride-by-wire, you should probably just stick to having it ride-by-wire.
Yeah. I have seen it done, but you need to get different injectors. You need to do all sorts of different stuff. It would almost... I can't believe I'm about to say this, but it might be easier to go from fuel injected to carbureted than ride-by-wire to cable.
That's just like chopping off a perfectly good working leg.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, just stick with the ride-by-wire.
Yeah. Either way, you're going to have tons of fun if you do get that MV. And if you do, post it up on the Discord because I'd love to see it.
Well, yeah, the MV is going to be a little while coming because I didn't get my bike until May. I only get to ride like 4 days, if that, with having a invent and being a truck driver, never really being home. So
Gotcha.
It's going to be fun.
Yep. Well, take your time with it, and I appreciate you calling, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks for the interest. You have a good one.
All right, later. Alrighty, guys, that's going to wrap up our call-in portion for now. We're going to jump into our contest of the week. Alrighty, guys, we're now going to be doing our contest of the week. We had our sweet Discord boys look over and meme one of our moments, and the moments they memed was our recent ride-along on the Harley where Spite turned to me and asks, how do you feel on the Harley? And then that's quite a memeable moment, I think, and so let's see what they came up with.
So beyond all of the, obvious flaws, how are you just feeling riding the bike? Like, how does the bike feel to you?
I guess I do feel pretty cool, I guess because I can't see how ugly the motorcycle I'm on is right now, but just listen to that rumble, man.
I'm trying to remember when I said that about the cool bike that I couldn't see that I was on. What bike was that?
Oh, I don't remember.
Fuck, what bike was that I was like, I remember saying that, but...
Was it...
Oh, man. I'm trying to remember...
God, I don't remember.
I don't remember where it came from either, but that's quite funny that they swapped that in there. Yep. I like that, yeah.
All right.
And then apparently some other clip where I'm like, listen to that rumble or something like that.
Yep.
From some other video. That's great.
So before we go any further, we're going to be judging this week on funniness and creativity.
Yes.
And quality, basically.
Yes.
Not necessarily actual texture quality of the video because of compression and stuff, but the quality of the meme, basically. 20.
Sweet.
Good start for Bill Mook. All right,
what's
so
our next one?
Our next one, continuing along here. Give it a second there.
So beyond all of the, obvious flaws, how are you just feeling riding the bike? Like, how does the bike feel to you?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. You just say it because they would never understand.
That's great. Yeah, I had a feeling someone was going to make that.
Yes.
It's awesome. It's exactly what I thought.
I can just drag that
Yeah, just
down.
drag it for a couple.
Also a 20.
Hey, another
that doesn't
20.
sound right. Is it summing?
It's summing correctly. It went horizontally.
Okay. Well,
Right.
it's J to L.
J to L, yeah.
On row 7. Yeah, okay, that's another 20. Okay, our next one.
So beyond all of the, obvious flaws, how are you just feeling riding the bike? Like, how does the bike feel to you?
Alright.
Well, Spite, the bike feels like I should be dragging a knee on my R1.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, it went down.
That was a good mismatch of a couple moments from us.
Uh-huh.
It's funny. I mean, because the Sportster definitely doesn't make me feel like I should be knee down on the R1, but that is quite funny that he put that on there.
22. New leader. Moving on.
That is great. Where the hell's that photo from? Look like a damn egg. That's really good. Oh man, I do love that meme. That's from that one reviewer guy.
Yes.
I know his name. Yeah, I can't remember his name. That is really, really funny.
I think it's also the perfect application of that meme.
Yes.
Because we got back and your day was ruined.
Yep.
Harley actually ruined your day.
Ate up my boot. It was a terrible riding experience. It was a bad day. Yeah. But that video did super well, so all is forgiven. That was funny.
21. So not quite enough to top Webley there.
Yeah, Webley is currently in the lead.
So beyond all of the obvious flaws, how are you just feeling riding the bike? Like, how does the bike feel to you?
I don't even care. Be mad. Turbo Busa is the GOAT because them Busa boys are out here. You can't stop them.
That had to have been from it came from Craigslist.
That had to be.
God, it's so crazy that I've made so many pieces of content. I have like no idea where things are from anymore. You know, I'm just like, oh yeah, there's just me out there yelling about a Busa, but who knows what video it's from.
21.
21.
Now we're on to Badassler.
A very active boy on our
Yes.
Discord. I've seen him on there.
So beyond all of the obvious flaws, how are you just feeling riding the bike? Like, how does the bike feel to you?
Oh man, this is really bad. This is really, really, really bad. What in the shit, dude? What even is this? I want nothing to do with it. This thing looks like cancer. It literally looks like cancer turned into a motorcycle. The gauge cluster here looks like it came out of, a tractor. You can clearly see on the seat, you got a little bit of gooch juice going on there. Certified an atrocity against God. Moving on. Damn! Buckle the up, Grandma. We're going off into space in this mother. It's just really slow. Like, I don't want to be mean, but like, who genuinely thinks this is cool? What leather daddy is gonna own this? This is a hard 4 out of 10 for me, guys. I'm gonna have to pass on this one.
Man, that was great. That was great because that's like some of the just absolute classics from Craigslist.
Yes.
Oh man, that was awesome.
Oh man, that was very, very, very funny.
Yeah, and it fits so perfectly with what I was talking. Oh man, that was really good.
Creativity. This one's up there. This dude spent a long time combing through the
No kidding.
Craigslist.
Yeah, I love the part where it's like, this looks like cancer. Jeez. Yeah, creativity. I'm gonna give it a 10. That was really good. Yeah, really, really good. Quality. Now like a 9. That was really solid. Yeah, and then funniness a 9. That was really fucking funny, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's solid. What's like a 28? What does he have?
Yeah, 28.
Yeah, that's a high score.
Somebody's got to be perfect to beat that one.
Exceptional.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
So beyond all of the obvious flaws, how are you just feeling riding the bike? Like, how does the bike feel to you?
Interesting. Yeah, the Harley does feel like a kick in the nuts, honestly. It does literally kick you in the nuts too while you ride it. Just thumps away at your taint.
Very vibrational.
Yeah.
Now we've got German A2 boy.
I think it was the guy that called earlier.
I think it was.
So beyond all of the obvious flaws, how are you just feeling riding the bike? Like, how does the bike feel to you?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. You just can't get into it because they would never understand.
That's pretty funny.
I like the VFR thing.
Yeah. Who was the other guy that did that same meme?
I think it was
Golden
that guy,
right?
Brew.
Okay, so we have to do this basically the same score.
Yes.
But with a little bit better because he did the VFR bit.
21.5.
Okay.
Spooky Zuki, our last entry for this week.
I feel like Spooky Zuki is going to be good because he's a very active boy.
So beyond all of the obvious flaws, how are you just feeling riding the bike? Like, how does the bike feel to you?
That's very good. That's very, very good. That was high effort.
Yes.
You did I don't know if you noticed in the beginning, each of your words was written out, and timed correctly, and he photoshopped you on the other buff dog,
That's hard to do. That's
a lot. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I think that's easily as creative as what Bad Assler did.
Yes, I think so.
So that would be a 10 right there.
Yes.
Quality.
Man.
That was pretty good.
It was pretty good, wasn't it?
That was pretty good.
Yeah. No, it was high quality. Give it a 10.
Give it a 10?
Yeah. Now the moment. Funniness.
I think, personally, I laughed harder at the other one.
I did laugh harder at the other one, yeah. So, yeah, I did laugh harder at the other one, honestly.
Which makes this would, if that is how our metric is, the other one was scored a 9, this would have to be...
Less than a 9.
Less than a 9. The question is how less than a 9.
I did laugh pretty hard. Well, I do think the funniness was an 8. It was not as funny as the other one, so that'll be a 28.
Okay. So let me double check really fast and see if Spooky Zuki in fact did win.
Okay.
Yes, Wildy did in fact win.
Nice. Okay.
So that would mean that in a tiebreaker situation, Bad Assler would be our winner this week.
Awesome. So Bad Assler was first place with a $100 Revzilla gift card, right?
Yes.
And then is the second place a Ridge Wallet or is it the gear? I think it's a Ridge Wallet, right?
The Ridge Wallet is what we did last week.
Okay, we'll do a Ridge Wallet for second place for this one.
So we're gonna let's read this one out.
Yeah.
So Bad Assler, we're gonna put as green.
He's number 1.
He's number 1. That's yellow. Try green. There we go.
Okay.
So next we have 22 going to Webley.
All right, Webley's going to get himself a Ridge Wallet.
Yep. So that is, we'll put that as blue. And our next one down.
Is it 21.5 there?
21.5 is German A2 boy.
All right.
Gets a piece of gear.
We're going to ship out a piece of gear to Germany. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Can't wait for those shipping costs. That's all right. That's the fun part.
All right. We will make you blue. Big
Sweet.
Blue. So 1, 2, 3.
All right. If you want to announce it on our Discord as well, let everyone know who won the prizes. That would be fun. And that's going to wrap it up for this week's Yamcast. Hope you guys enjoyed and tune in next time. See you later.